Hey!
You know what happens when I get a bad mood.
Hey! Come on, pal, take it outside.
What'd you say to me?
I said take it outside.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Go back to your drink.
Thug parks his car down the street from the house he is renting. He narrates that when he was 9 years old, he got into a fight with a boy at school. His father told him not to be a pussy, so Thug beat the boy to a pulp. His father later noted that perhaps he wasn't a pussy after all. Thug goes with Kyle Connor, the son of his employer, mob boss Charlie Connor, to a fishery to discuss a deal with a supplier. The man is willing to do business, but when pressed by Kyle about what the product is, the man gets defensive, to almost the point of violence.
Somebody tell this footpig that if he don't stop staring at me, I'm gonna have to break his shoulders.
The man smiles and they ultimately conclude the deal with Kyle. Thug goes to a mattress store, which is the business cover for Charlie's real operation. Charlie talks to Thug about how the deal went. Thug attempts to cover for Kyle, saying he got a decent price, but Charlie sees right through him. He knows Kyle is incompetent. Charlie tells Thug of his next assignment, and Thug blanks on key information. When Charlie asks if he is okay, Thug lies, saying he has been having really bad headaches. He goes outside to his car, where he has a notepad where he is writing down key information. He writes on one page that Charlie Connor is his boss. The next day, Thug gets a call from Charlie to pick up a pill shipment from Dr. Gruber. Charlie asks if he knows where to go, and Thug says yes. He then proceeds to check his notebook. At the office, Dr. Gruber tries to haggle on the price of the pills, but Thug shuts him down. As he leaves, though, he asks him about his memory problems. Dr. Gruber tells him he should probably be checked out by a doctor who deals with that. Thug goes to the doctor. Meeting with her, he learns that he has CTE, and he may only have a few years before he can no longer take care of himself. She asks if he has kids, and he says yes. She tells him she is asking because he will need full-time care eventually. Later, grappling with his fate, he pulls out a gun, intending to kill himself. However, he looks over, he sees a small child, a young girl, who gives him the middle finger and a smile. That is enough to stop him for now. It also sends him on a new path, one of attempted amends. Back in his house, Thug makes a call to his daughter, Daisy. She is less than happy to hear from him, wants nothing to do with him, and refuses to see him. Thug tries to ask about his son, but cannot remember his name.
My son?
Your son? I mean, Colin?
Yeah, Colin. You have his number? I want to go see him.
Colin's dead.
What? Why didn't anybody tell me?
Why would they? Dad, you didn't even remember his fucking name.
Thug goes to see his daughter at her house and sees a "for sale" sign. Daisy is less than happy to see him. But Thug says he just wants to see her, perhaps take her out to dinner one night. Thug attempts to make some form of explanation for his past actions, but Daisy is having none of it.
This is your grandfather.
Hey.
Thug asks again to take them out to dinner, but Daisy tells him to get lost. The next day, Thug meets up with Woman, with her joking about him being a gangster. They spend the day in bed together. Thug notices the scars that encompass her tattoos, and she tells them they are scars from cigarette burns and bad boyfriends. Thug gets a call from Charlie and gets up to dress, telling her he has to go to New York. Thug and Kyle drive to New York. When they reach their destination, Thug tells him to loop around the building so he can check for anything that is not supposed to be there. Satisfied, he makes the switch with their contact for a large moving truck which Kyle and Thug drive off in. On the highway, Kyle wants to know what they are transporting, but Thug scolds him. Suddenly, a police car gets behind them and Kyle panics. In response, Thug pushes him to the ground so the cop will only see him and not a panicking Kyle, which would only cause trouble. Thug and Kyle get the truck to a nondescript suburban home owned by Gambaro, who tells them to park around back. Kyle wants to get out, but Thug tells him to get back inside. They are not supposed to know. Thug hears a woman screaming, and one of them, Araceli, reaches up to the driver's side where Thug is, begging for help. Two of Gambaro's men drag her away, and Thug looks down in shock as his hand bleeds from being accidentally cut by her. Thug is horrified and guilt-ridden, realizing he helped traffic women that will be forced into the flesh trade. That night, Thug dreams of his father again. When he wakes up, he realizes the wound he got from Araceli has opened up, and he is bleeding again. Taking his bleeding hand as a sign he needs to do something, Thug goes back to Gambaro's house and requests for Araceli. She begins to disrobe, but Thug tells her no. Thug asks her if she has family in the US, and if she wants him to call them. Araceli tells them no, they already know. She tells him she has to work off a $20,000 debt to be free, and shows him a picture of her child. Thug, quietly unsettled but having no means to clear her debt, tells her he can't help her and leaves. leaving her distraught. Later, Thug gets a call from Charlie, telling him he needs to collect $20,000 from a priest. The priest sees him and tries to hide, but Thug finds him. The priest apologizes for panicking and gives over the money. Thug asks if he does confessions, but the priest says he has no time for that just before being shot in the head. Thug realizes that the men who killed the priest are actually here for him. Getting to his car, Thug crouches down and gets the car to reverse, running the man over. Thug wants to know who hired him and threatens his loved ones if he doesn't comply.
Who the fuck are you? Who hired you?
He's a big motherfucker. Big spider tat on his neck. He said you'd be hard to kill.
Thug drives off, leaving him to die. Thug goes to Charlie's house and gives him the money. Charlie asks Thug who the guys were and if he has enemies. Thug says too many to count, but none that would warrant this response, ultimately labeling them amateurs. Thug goes home, only to find Woman on the street nearby. After some convincing, he lets her come to his rental house. Woman sees the information about CTE, and after a brief denial, Thug confirms that he is sick. The next morning, Thug tells Woman he is meeting Daisy and his grandchildren at a dinner and would like her to come with him. The day arrives and Thug makes himself presentable for a nice meal. However, time passes, and Thug realizes Daisy stood him up and has a meltdown in the restaurant with Woman having to comfort him and take him home. While Thug sleeps, Woman meets with Daisy and tells her the truth about her father. Thug hears them and is enraged at Daisy knowing.
Get out or I'll throw you, you crazy fucking bitch.
Cut it out!
You want to hit me? You want to hit me?
Dre, please, go get in the car right now.
Woman and Dre leave the house with Daisy scolding her father, saying she didn't deserve that. Daisy admits that she did stand him up because he abandoned them their entire lives. Daisy tells him she will help him get a new doctor if he wants her to help. The next morning, Daisy and Dre are packing up the house when Thug arrives. Asking to speak to Dre, Thug stumbles with his words, but ultimately apologizes about how he acted and tells Dre in no certain terms to emulate him. Dre listens silently, then walks down the hallway away from him. That night, Thug goes to Charlie's office intending to ask for a loan of $40,000. $20,000 to buy Araceli's freedom, and $20,000 to give to his daughter for a down payment on a house. As his memory is getting worse, he practices his speech all the way down. Getting off the elevator, he sees that Kyle and Charlie have a new enforcer. Charlie tells him he happened to talk to Dr. Gruber and how Thug asked about his health. Thug tries to downplay it, only for Charlie to say that he is fired. Thug balks, saying he is fine, noting he took care of those 3 assassins. Charlie asks him to say his phone number and address, but Thug cannot. Charlie tells him to leave, and Kyle rudely asks if he needs directions to the door. Thug goes up to leave, only to see that the enforcer has a spiderweb tattoo on his neck, just like the killer at the ambush said. Confronting Kyle and Charlie, Thug points out the man he just knocked unconscious, and is enraged that they tried to have him killed. When Thug asks Charlie if he knew about it, his silence confirms that he knew about Thug's condition way before talking to Dr. Gruber. Thug orders Charlie to open the safe. When he refuses, Thug shoots Kyle in the leg to make him comply. Charlie opens the safe, and Thug tells him to fill the bag inside with cash and guns. Thug, who is more disappointed than angry, tells Charlie he came to his office that night to ask him for a favor after 30 years of loyal service. Thug holds a gun to Charlie's head. Charlie, accepting his probable fate, begs Thug not to kill his son.
Kid stays alive.
Thug leaves, sparing Kyle as a final favor to his old boss. Thug calls his lawyer Bert to his office for an emergency meeting. After giving him a cash payment for his services, he tells Bert to get a cashier's check to his daughter to put down a payment for a house for her and her children. Bert asks where he got the money. Thug shows him his hand where he wrote Charlie's name. Thug returns to Gambero's house intending to buy Araceli's freedom. Gambero laughs at the idea of Thug buying one of his girls. Thug tells Gambero they are both bullies who feed off human misery. Still, he is willing to do business and offers him $30,000 for Araceli. Gambero tells Thug she isn't for sale. When Thug asks why not, Gambero takes him to a room and shows him. He tells Thug that Araceli was murdered by one of her customers earlier in the day. Thug, angry with himself for not getting her out fast enough, pulls out a gun and tells him to move. Thug orders Gambero to tell his guy to go home. After he leaves, he gathers all the girls in the kitchen and starts distributing his and Gambero's money to the girls and makes them leave. As he complies, Gambero sees one of his men creeping up with a gun. The last girl sees him, though, and screams, giving Thug a chance to see and shoot him dead. However, Gambero stabs Thug with a hidden knife, causing him to fall to the floor. As Gambaro gloats, the last girl picks up the dropped gun and shoots him in the head. The girl, panicked, tries to help Thug, but he just tells her to go.
Just go. Go.
Bleeding out, Thug calls Dre, telling him to be outside and not wake his mother. Thug tells Dre that he will hear some awful stuff about him in the coming days. Dre notices he is hurt, but Thug plays it off, claiming he is okay. Dre comes to the window and Thug briefly holds his hand, staining it with his blood. Thug tells Dre to go back inside. Dre does, silently understanding this will probably be the last time he sees his grandfather alive. Thug drives back to his house, but instead of going to his home, he goes to a nearby abandoned house and breaks in. As the sun rises and he hears the chimes swing in the wind, Thug continues to breathe heavy and bleed out. The last shot is of the ocean, the implication being that Thug died of his wounds.